Hello, my name's Sarah Williams and I'm the editor of Who Do You Think You Are magazine, and I'm going to talk to you today about how to start researching your family history. Who Do You Think You Are Live is a fantastic opportunity to try out various websites, discover what different archives can offer, and pick up tips and techniques from the experts. But if you are just starting out on this voyage of discovery, then it's really worth taking the time to try out some first steps that I'm going to share with you today. That will help you get the most out of your visit to Who Do You Think You Are Live. Now, the most important first step that any family historian can make in their research is not to go online and just Google a name. There is no one website that will give you all the answers. The very first important step that you can take is to talk to your family. Now, this might seem obvious, but it will save you a lot of time and money if you go and talk to all your family members and find out what they already know about your history. So obviously, if your parents or grandparents are still alive, that's a great starting point. But don't forget your brothers and sisters who may know different bits that you don't know about, or uncles, aunts, cousins, and even your parents' cousins. I really guarantee you will find out some surprising information that you didn't know already about your family just by talking to people. Face-to-face is best because they may have photographs that you don't know about, and it's a wonderful way to reignite relationships that may have gone neglected. You may find that people have already done the research. You may also be able to pick up someone who would like to do the research with you. And that's great fun. It's much more fun to come to something like Who Do You Think You Are Live with someone else and share again the costs and the time for the research with someone. If you can't meet people in person, then I really recommend an email out to everyone in your family saying what you're about to start doing. And then you can follow that up with a phone call and get the conversation going. Once you've done that, write down everything you know and all the new family information that you've gathered. It helps to write out a family tree because that shows you what gaps there are in your knowledge. And it also might help you to start formulating what you want to discover next. One of the things that puts people off starting their family history is it seems like too big a task. So a really good trick is to concentrate on one particular aspect you'd like to discover. Perhaps you had a dearly beloved gran and you'd like to find out more about her background. Or there's a family story you'd like to find out more about. When you start your family history research, you should always start with a known fact. Now, depending on what that is, you may have to order a birth certificate next, or if you're lucky, you may be able to hop straight into the 1911 census. If, for example, you know that your grandmother was born before 1911, and say you know the names of her parents, you know some of her brothers and sisters, you should be able to find her on the 1911 census. Find My Past, Genes Reunited, they have both got the full 1911 census, but the genealogist and Ancestry have nearly completed their transcriptions as well. So there's a good choice of commercial websites for you to have a look at and see which one suits you to browse the 1911 census. They all offer free trials, and many libraries also offer free access. So we're going to hop onto the 1911 census and see if we can find someone. Here's an example of a 1911 census. The 1911 census is the only one where we've kept the household schedules. So each sheet you see is one household filled in by the head of the house. So it's a chance for you to see your ancestors' actual handwriting. You can see we've got the name, got the relationship to the head of the household, their occupation, where they were born, their nationality, and if they had any kind of infirmity. The 1911 census was also the only one that asked women how many children they had had and how many were still living. Sometimes this can reveal really tragic stories about your family's past that may have gone hidden for a generation. Once you've found someone on the 1911 census, if you're lucky, you can follow that family back to the 1901 census. Even if they've moved, you can often track them down because you'll see they might still be with the same people. You can use occupations to check you've got the right people, and the birthplace column. So you can follow them back to 1901 and possibly even 1891, uncovering more relationships, more people, and finding out a bit about the jobs your ancestors had. Now I'm going to turn my attention to certificates. The civil registration of births, marriages and deaths started in England and Wales in 1837, in Scotland in 1855, and in Ireland in 1864. Before then, baptisms, marriages and burials were recorded by the local parish church, but there was no centralised system. We, as family historians, use civil registration as a very important and useful tool in our research. And I'm going to show you now how to order a birth certificate that will help you to start pushing the generations back and revealing your family history. So again, supposing your first known piece of knowledge is someone who was born after 1911, so we haven't gone back to the 1911 census, you can order their birth certificate. And ordering even a great-great-grandmother's birth certificate is no more complicated than, say, ordering your own. You need to go to the GRO's website. However, you will see that you are asked for index reference number, and I'm going to show you how to find that. If you have signed up to one of the main genealogy commercial websites, they will help you to find out what that index reference number is. But you can also find it on a site called FreeBMD. It's not as user-friendly as the commercial websites, and it doesn't hold all of the information yet, but it's pretty complete, and it's worth a look if you don't want to commit to a commercial website. On FreeBMD, you need to fill in the information that you know already. Hopefully the year that your ancestor, perhaps your grandmother, was born, the place, and any other information you know that you can use to narrow down the options. You will then see a list of people who were born at the same time in the same place. Hopefully it should be quite clear which one is your ancestor. But if they've got a common name, you may find you're having to order more than one certificate to be sure you've got the right person. Write down the reference number that you need, go back to the GRO's website and order your certificate. They're £9.25, but they really are worth it. It takes about a week for a birth certificate to arrive. On that certificate, you will see the names of the parents. With that information, you can now go on and order a marriage certificate using exactly the same method you used to order a birth certificate. And on a marriage certificate, it will name the groom and bride's fathers. And again, you can use this information to order their birth certificates, and so you leap back through the generations. Once you hit the census years, you can also start trying to find them on the census. Remember, it takes at least a week for a certificate to arrive from the GRO, so leave plenty of time before Who Do You Think You Are live. So pick up a ticket today. You are about to set off on the most amazing and wonderful journey. Good luck and happy hunting.